action. Welcome back everyone to the channel. First of all, a big thank you for 1,000 subscribers. In today's lesson we're going to get straight into it, the basics of jazz improvisation on the electric bass. Okay guys, so one of the most important scales in music is definitely the major scale. Now there's many ways in which we can approach the major scale, many permutations and different ways we can incorporate it into our vocabulary. So we'll start off scale in C major for simplicity here. Now for 2 octaves. Okay, great. Now in jazz we often have lots of fast chord progressions, so a simpler way of playing this would be as a triad. Two different positions there. So a triad is just a 3-note pattern, so we got the root, 3rd, 5th, and you can play the root again to get the octave. So this can be really useful when you hear this in all sorts of jazz, including John Coltrane's Giant Steps. Okay, now we want to add another colour tone. We can use the major 7th, an arpeggio, which is a 4-note grouping. So scales are a great way in which we can mess with the different interval combinations. So here's an example using quarter note triplets. Just like so. Now here's an example of a 4-note linear interval group. Okay, so there you have it. You've got 2 different ways in which you can play a scale to hopefully make it more musical and to help incorporate it into your musical vocabulary. Okay, so you may have noticed that these exercises seem quite technical at first, and that is true in the beginning, but it's what we do with these exercises that really counts. So when we're playing things like scales, why not try really thinking about other key musical elements such as tone, time, and then also experimenting with different interval combinations to see if we can come up with new musical melodies. Now we can also of course use these exercises for technical development, as I mentioned earlier, and one of the things on the bass we can focus on is string skipping. So as we're going up the scale, we can focus on trying to play the scale with even tone, and if we're on a fretless bass, good intonation. Of course there's many ways to play these scales on the neck, such as you can play it all over. So as you can see there guys, the scales can be very horizontal as opposed to having to always be vertical, which is the obvious go-to. As whilst that's very useful when you're soloing and you don't know what situation you're going to end up, you might be playing something here and then it's going to be more appropriate or allow you to express yourself more if you're able to play these things in multiple places across the instrument, such as well as obviously the obvious vertical, which is. And this is also great for learning the notes and learning the fingerboard, which of course is extremely important. Next time we'll look at more different variations and different ways in which you can incorporate these into your improvised musical ideas.